full on the accelerator, it actually does rev the engine up a little bit and drop the brake. Hey gearheads, and welcome to Garage Talk. I'm Corey, and this is the updated 2025 Honda Civic in the top sport touring trim that is hybrid only. Yes, a hybrid only powertrain for the top two trims of the Civic, but this produces the same amount of power as the sport intended SI model, though with a CVT versus the SI's 6-speed manual. Is this fun to drive? Is this quick? Would you buy this over the SI? And would you buy this over, say, a new competitor like the Kia K4? All that and more. Stay tuned. All right, gearheads, the first thing I want to do is say a huge thank you to Honda for delivering this 2025 Honda Civic Sport Touring sedan to me to test for a full week here on the channel. I love this blue. If you can't tell by what I'm wearing, even the phone case on the phone recording this right now, blue. So they've got me like nailed. This one really has appealed to me over the week that I've had it. And as I mentioned in the intro, this is the Sport Touring and it is hybrid only. So we get a 2-liter naturally aspirated 4-cylinder under the hood paired to a 181 horsepower electric motor, which actually makes this thing rather spunky and fun to drive. We'll talk more about that when we're actually behind the wheel. But I can say from experience that this has been an absolute blast in my time with it so far. It does make a total system output of 200 horsepower and just over 200 pound-feet of torque, though it is mated to a continuously variable transmission, which takes out some of the fun versus that Civic Si that I was talking about in the intro. Though because this is relying on 181 horsepower from an electric motor, it is rather fun and, well, spunky to drive. Closing the prop rod supported hood. Yes, that is not my favorite, but in this price class, it's kind of to be expected. Very solid hood here. And then updated looks for 2025. Cleaned up fascia, just a little nip tuck here and there, but you can see all LED headlights, LED running lights, LED turn signals. No fogs on this one though. Interesting, top model, no fogs, but it is a cleaned up look. I really do like what Honda has been doing with their design lately. The Accord notwithstanding, I think this wears the Honda sedan styling far better than the bigger Accord sibling. The blue paint on this one really does pop against all the brown fall leaves. Yes, technically it is still fall, though Christmas is just over a week away as I'm recording this. And, well, welcome to East Texas. As we pull around to the side, you can see still very nice cleaned up styling that we've known from the Civic for a few years now, including that very interesting design line on the rear window. We'll talk about that as we move further back. Our Sport Touring model does get 18-inch wheels, wrapped in Continental ProContact tires, and I really do like this machine face and silver paint look on the wheels themselves, though it does highlight just how small those little brakes are back behind the wheels. As we pull back from the Civic, I really do like the profile on this. Very cleaned up, very handsome, and a little less space agey from the generation it replaces. Again, I really do like that design line on that back window right here. It just gives it a little extra flair. You see it on other vehicles, including Cadillac's largest sedan in their CT5. I think it just gives a lot of visual interest. As we pull around to the back here, you can see, again, the blue just contrasts so very nicely against all the brown leaves here on the ground. But when we get to the rear of the vehicle, again, much less space age look from prior generations. It is more cleaned up, more traditional. In fact, it reminds me of the last generation Kia Optima in the way the taillights and brake lights separate the upper trunk from the lower trunk. There's kind of that inset panel there. It is a nice cleaned up look, though. As you will notice, we have LED running lights and brake lights on this, but incandescent turn signals. So there are some cost-saving measures across the board here. Otherwise, it is a very clean, very nice look. As we come up close to the Civic, it does have an electronic release for the trunk right there under the Honda H, and then a very good spacious trunk. Very wide opening, very easy to get into, and I like that a lot. It does have slightly more storage space in the back of it than the new competitor from Kia with their K4. I did just spend a day with 2 different trims of the K4, and you'll want to go check out that content on the channel. But suffice it to say, Honda has done a lot with the overall size and packaging and proportions in here. I think it works very well. You can fold the 60-40 split second row or back seat down with these latches right here in the trunk. You can't do it from the side of the vehicle. You have to do it from back here, and that will expand your cargo capacity. And it's standard across sedans to do that method. I just wish there were a way to fold it down from inside the vehicle, so I'm not having to reach all the way in there. Underneath the false load floor here, we do have some additional storage because we don't have a spare tire in this particular model. It is all lined with styrofoam, so we get some noise saving benefits from that. One last thing I really like that Honda has done back here is this little grab handle right here that allows you to very quickly, if you do it quick enough, close that trunk lid so that you don't get your fingerprints all over the back, don't get your hands dirty if the back of your car is dirty, and don't like have all those clean fingerprints along the trunk line. Before we move inside this one, I do want to show you the Honda key. Typical Honda key, it is small and compact. I really like what Honda does with their proximity keys. It does not take up a lot of space in my pocket. You can see we have all the necessary buttons: lock, unlock, dedicated remote start, the trunk release, as well as a panic button. You can also deploy a physical key, but you don't need to. You can keep it in your pocket, your purse, wherever you keep your keys, and just walk up to the vehicle. It is passive entry, so you can just touch it there to open it, and you can touch right there to lock it. That is only on the front doors, not on all 4. It also locks this right here, but this also has a walk away feature that if you program it, when you get far enough away, it locks. So just something to note. I really do like that when I remember that it's got it on there. But as we open the doors, you can see we've got a nice cream leather interior that contrasts nicely with the black and with the blue on the outside. You can see we have express up-down front windows, but not the back. Really like the use of material in here. Not a lot of gloss black, even though we get some right here on the door. Nice padding here, a little bit of storage there, a little bit of storage there. 8-way power driver's seat, 4-way power passenger seat in this, but we do have leather front seats in this. They're heated and they are not ventilated. It seems like something that is lacking in what is supposed to be the top trim of the Civic. As we get in and close the door, you can see we have a very large digital infotainment or digital driver information screen here, and a smaller infotainment screen over here. I'll get my words out in just a moment. Single brightness roller right here for that. A traction control button hidden right here. A lot of poverty blinks even here on this top trim model. And then over here, you can see we have our trunk release actually on the door. All your lighting controls are on this stalk. Your automatic wipers are over here on this stalk. We do have paddle shifters on the back of the wheel, but again, CVT. Typical controls for ADAS and your infotainment there on the steering wheel itself. But I'm going to put my foot on the brake, reach around, and push the power button for the vehicle. You can see everything starts up except for the engine, because we don't actually need the engine with this hybrid powertrain. We get a dual gauge setup here on this digital screen, but you can see fuel and your hybrid battery meters are on exterior displays here on the 2 sides. Very clean, very easy to read. You can see we also have traffic sign recognition and the like there. No head-up display on this one, but this digital screen does good enough for us. 9-inch screen here. It does have wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, which I do not have turned on right now because I am filming on my phone. Let me know if you like this footage better than my GoPro footage. that we will be using when driving. But yes, Apple CarPlay, Android Auto, we have Google built in. It has been a very nice, very easy to use. In fact, I used the Google Maps to drive over here, and I was impressed just how quickly it found my destination and started the drive route to it. So I like that a lot. Some have complained about how easy this honeycomb will be to keep clean. You can see we have 2 vents here and 1 vent hidden over there, but a continuous honeycomb pattern between them all. Dual zone climate controls with heated front seats. So I like that, though again, not ventilated. I really wish we had ventilated seats up here. This looks like it was taken straight out of the Accord. I've got no complaints over it. It works very well. You can see down here we have USB-C inputs for wired CarPlay and Android Auto and for charging. We also have a Qi wireless charger here with a power button that I really like, that Honda allows you to turn it off if you want. Again, more of that non-gloss black textured plastic material in here that I like. 2 cup holders, your drive mode switch that helps you toggle between Econ, normal, sport, and individual. You also get different displays here on the center screen when you power through each of them, and then I can hold this and you can see all the different things that we can actually adjust: powertrain, steering, engine sound, and the gauges. But yeah, I'll leave it in normal for right now, but we'll put it in sport when we get going. The CVT is triggered by this mechanical gear selector here. When you put it in reverse, you get a nice rear view camera image, but no 360 cameras. Yet again, something that seems to be lacking here from this top trim. No 360 cameras. It is a slight miss for me. But I will say the overall build quality and ambiance in here is very nice, very premium. I really do like it. It has been a very pleasant place to be. Electronic parking brake here, electronic park hold right here. Decent size center console here with a removable tray. Plenty of room to store some things in there. And then you can see coming here to the glove box, it is very heavily damped, but not lined with felt. And we've got a decent amount of storage in there. We do have a Bose sound system in this one, though I haven't really tested it out too much. We've been listening to a lot of Nutcracker in preparation for Tucker's performances this week. As we come to me, I've got decent headroom, but not much to talk about up above my head. There we go. Those are the words. At 5'10", I really am pushing the limits of this car. I am seating... Ooh. I was not sitting all the way down. There we go. Yeah, much more headroom. So yes, I guess Holly has been driving this and she likes to move the seat up. There are no memory settings in this one, which is a slight miss for me. Again, being a top trim, I really would like to see memory seat options. But now you can see, okay, that's a little bit better. I've been driving around in Holly's position. What's wrong with me? But yes, I'll get this situated before we set off and drive. You can see we have a standard size sunroof up there, so plenty of light in here, though the interior itself is light and airy enough in its colors that it doesn't feel claustrophobic in here. Plus the windows are nice and big, also allowing a lot of light in here. But what's it like sitting behind myself, and what other amenities are available to us there in the back seat? Coming up to the back seat, like I said, there are no proximity sensors on those doors, so you will need to unlock the front doors first before loading a kid in the back. You can see doors open wide enough. We do have Tucker's child safety seat already in there. If you want to see our family review where I do a full install of that seat, be sure and hit that subscribe button and follow along. You can see back here we get more of that texture that I like, but more gloss black, which I don't. So it evens out. Padded armrest here, a little bit of storage there, a little bit of storage there. Leather seats back in the back. Seating for 5, though, we'll talk about that here in just a moment. Sitting behind myself at 5'10", I've got plenty of legroom. I've got no complaints with space back here, but no map pocket on the back of this seat. We do have a map pocket on the back of the passenger seat. Also, no power on the back of the center console, no air vents on the back of the center console. That is something that the Kia K4 I just tested did offer in its top GT line turbo trim. So slight miss here again with that. They really did put their money into the engine hybrid powertrain system, and they missed a few things on overall livability, though this has not been a bad vehicle to live with. Coming to me, you can see the headroom. Yeah, that is a little bit more of a problem here, but there is a nice cutout here. But yeah, I can't lower my seat down, but I can scooch a little bit and get comfortable back here. It's a comfortable back seat. My dad had a 2003 Civic for the longest time, and this is a much more luxurious, much more roomy back seat than what he had on one of his base models. I can't remember exactly what it was. You can see we also have a fold down center armrest here, but it does the Toyota Camry thing in that it flops all the way down, so it like misses where I actually want it, which is like right here. So like, what are you doing, Honda? So yeah, a few small complaints there, but that is enough of a tour of it. Let's hook all of our cameras and equipment up and see how quick this is 0 to 60, see what it's like to drive as well. Before we set off in this one, I do want to thank our acceleration partners in Racebox with their GPS-enabled race timers, lap timers, acceleration timers. I really have enjoyed my time with my Racebox and allowing me to 0 to 60 test these vehicles for you in the real world. If you want to save 15% off and get one for yourself and help our channel out in the process, all the information is in the link with our coupon code down in the description below. But now, as we're setting off, I do want to go ahead and put us in sport mode here and get out on some straight road. Now, the horsepower from the engine itself is supplemented by that electric motor, so both things working together is what gets us the top time in this one, and we'll see exactly what that is here on this straight stretch of road. We'll try it again at the end, but we will brake torque it full on the brake, full on the accelerator. It actually does rev the engine up a little bit, and drop the brake. With the CVT, it just kind of continuously pulls, and 6.5 seconds flat, 0 to 60. It wasn't all that exciting. There wasn't wheel spin. I couldn't row through the gears myself, but 6.5 seconds, 0 to 60 in a vehicle that the EPA rates in the high 40s, low 50s for overall fuel economy. I'd say that ain't too shabby. That's actually a pretty good return. Though, once we have the vehicle a little bit more warmed up at the end of the video, we will do another couple tests, average all of those together. Otherwise, what has this been like to live with? Well, for the most part, we've been driving it around in the city in normal mode. It really has been a workhorse for us. We've been running errands, getting groceries, doing things like that, but with the same amount of power as the Honda Civic Si. I'm very curious just what this is like living with on a curvy East Texas back road, such as the one I'm on. Tires are a little bit different, suspension's a little bit different, transmission's a little bit different, engine's a little bit different. Horsepower number is the same, but I have been very curious as to exactly what this will be like actually getting it down some twisty roads. I will note I am on some very highly textured pavement here in East Texas, and I'm getting a little bit of road noise. It's consistent with the class, so I don't really have any major complaints right there. And the overall ride in here is actually very comfortable as well. I've got MacPherson Strut front, multi-link rear, which is a step up from what we tested in the last Mazda 3 sedan with its torsion beam rear suspension, though I think Mazda does a really good job with their more affordable torsion beam rear suspensions. Though I will say the ride on this has been very good. I've had really no complaints with this Civic for the week that we've had it. It's just done everything that I've wanted of it, without any muss, without any fuss, without any big fanfare. It has been a glorified appliance. I mean that in the best sense, in that, well, yes, I'm approaching 40 and new appliances excite me. Don't they excite you? So yes, this does a very good job of exactly what I ask of it. And for that, I really do appreciate it. As we get into some more twisty roads and the pavement kind of changes, there's some dips and whatnot here in the road, I can say the suspension is doing a very good job soaking it all up. It's not floaty, but it's definitely not sport tuned like the SI would be. I am yet to actually drive an SI, but my buddy Dave did review one here on the channel. I'm still waiting for my time behind the wheel in one. Hopefully they'll deliver one here to us within the first couple months of 2025 so that I can test it for you here on my favorite driving roads in East Texas. Putting this thing around corners, those Continental ProContact tires are doing a good job of holding me to the road. They've done a good job in the wet as well. It's rained a lot of the time that I've had this. In fact, this is the first sunny day I've actually had with this Civic, and it's actually going back to Honda tomorrow. So yes, I haven't had bright sunshiny days to truly get to enjoy this one, but that is what today is for, testing it on, yes, my favorite driving roads. That windy, curvy sign puts a smile on my face every time I see it. I will say, thanks to the CVT and the electric motor on this, it is rather torquey right when I want it to be. It never really has to hunt for gears because continuously variable, and the instantaneous torque provided by electric motors really means it's kind of peppy and ready to go when I want it to go. So for that, I really do appreciate the tuning of this. It has been a fun little vehicle to drive around town, and it is proving to be a fun little vehicle here on the curvy back roads as well. Now, unfortunately, right now I am stuck behind a truck, but let's cut to those last two 0 to 60 runs, then I'll head back the other way with clear roads out in front of me. All right, now as we're approaching the end of the road here, we do have a nice straight stretch of pavement here in front of me where I can do a quick 0 to 60 test on this. Then we'll turn around and do it in reverse, average all three of them all together, see exactly what this is like in real world testing. So coming down to a flat spot here, nobody behind me, nobody ahead of me, firm on the brake, firm on the accelerator. Let's go ahead, put it in sport mode and drop the brake. It throws you back. I'm not complaining about it. 6.7 seconds that time. So yeah, let's spin around and do it the other direction. This way was slightly uphill. Now we'll be going slightly downhill to see exactly what the average of all three of our runs is like. Straight stretch of road, nobody in front, nobody behind, firm on the brake, firm on the accelerator, and drop the brake. .4 seconds. So yeah, 6.5 really is the 0 to 60 time that you will see in this. And I remember when that was performance vehicle acceleration numbers. So very impressed with the acceleration, though the experience really isn't the greatest with the CVT. Just kind of drones at you. But how often are you drag racing a hybrid Civic in the first place? Really? Now, getting on to some curvy roads with clear traffic ahead of me, I can say that my time with this on these roads has been very pleasurable. It has put a big smile on my face. This is a very competent vehicle for its price, size, and competitive class for tossing around corners. The brakes hold, the tires hold. The power, like I said, is peppy and there when you want it, when you need it. The visibility out of the Civic is good enough that I'm not really worried that I'm going to hit anybody or anything. I can really see where I'm putting this thing. And yes, the Type R does kind of benefit all trims in that manner because, yes, Civic was engineered to be an all-around performance sedan and everyday daily driver as well. So all that put together really does make this a fun, peppy little vehicle to drive, and I've enjoyed my time with it. I could see myself owning this one. Absolutely. It has been a completely pleasant vehicle for our time. Again, the ride isn't harsh or floaty. It's just right. It's like Goldilocks. very much applaud the Honda engineers and what they were able to do with this. Of course, we've got full vehicle details down in the video description, warranty, price, fuel economy, everything like that. So absolutely check that out down below the video. And while you're down there, hit that subscribe button and ring the bell so you're notified when future videos drop from us. Find us on all social media channels: Facebook, Instagram, X, TikTok, Threads, YouTube, you name it. Everything is at GT Garage Talk, or you can go to gtgaragetalk.com, where you will find links to everything we do, including our award-winning podcast. But as for me and the surprisingly fun to drive and very fuel efficient Honda Civic Sport Touring Hybrid, until next time, gearheads, bye. Let's go! Okay, yeah, that's not as fun. Oh.